Hello, today's topic is coordinate graphs, presenting data on the coordinate graph, and patterns among data points that we can visualize using the coordinate graph. I'm going to jump a few pages because we already understand that coordinate graph is the intersection of a vertical and horizontal number lines. We call the intersection point 0, 0, and the vertical number line is labeled Y, and the horizontal number line is labeled X. Let's jump to exercise number 4. Exercise number 4 is asking us first to take a look at the line graph. We are familiar with line graphs. We've seen them before. I'm going to emphasize it right here as much as I can. And the figure shows the points. Yes, we do see the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I would like to do is label them with capital letters: point A, point B, point C, point D, point E, and point F. And as you can see, points A through F lay on the same straight line, which means they belong to this straight line. The figure shows the points. Now remember, how do we label the coordinate points? X and Y, X and Y. First is X, then it's Y. First number is X, then its location on the Y-axis, X, location on the Y, location on the X, location on the Y. So we remember that. Now, point A is -6, -4. That's true. This is -6, -4. We travel all the way to the left until -6, and then we drop down -4. I'm going to undo the steps to make my graph clean. Now, the next point is -4. Notice point B is -4, -3. Okay, -4. I'm sorry, it's -2. -2. And point C is we go -2 in the left direction, but we don't go up at all. It is right on the x-axis. And then point D is we stay on the y-axis. We don't go left or right, but we just go up 2. And in the same fashion, point E has coordinates of 2 to the right, and then up 4, right? 2 to the up and up 4. And final point F is 4, 6. Now, let's see if we can spot some patterns. Notice what's happening with the X value. From -6, it went up to -4, went up to -2, went up to 0. So it always changes, increases by 2. From 0 plus 2 more, we end up at +2. And from +2 plus 2 more, we end up at 4. Now notice what's happening along the y-axis. I'm just going to, label it. So we go up 2 steps, over 2. We go up 2 steps and over 2. We go up 2 steps and over 2 to reach D. Again, in the same pattern, we go up 2 steps and over 2 steps to reach point E, up 2, over 2 to reach point F. Notice that the pattern among points A through F is constant, correct? All these points, A, B, C, D, E, F, follow the same pattern. In fact, we say that the change is constant here. And that is why, my friends, the visualization, when we connect all these points A through F, we see a straight line. We see a straight line. Not some wiggly line, not the line that goes up and down, because the change is constant. +2, +2, +2, +2 for both X and Y values, we keep generating a straight line. Let's answer some questions below the graph. When X is 0, Y is 2. Yes, Y is 2. That's our point D. When X is 2, Y is 4. That's point E. When X is -6, Y is -4. And that was point A. The Y coordinate of each point is 2 more, plus 2 more, right? Remember, up to, then the x. Oh, so sorry, the y coordinate is always, what's the difference between y and x? Is also 2. Therefore, we can make a generalization. We can say that for any given value of x, no matter what comes to us as x, we increase it by 2 to create the value of y. And we call this an equation of the line, or a pattern, or a rule. All, of course, are synonyms in algebra. The straight line that's passing through all these points is called the graph with the equation y equals x plus 2 more. Now, let's take a look at number 5. Again, in number 5, we're given here, we're starting from the opposite. We have a rule, okay? We have a rule, and that rule states, take any x, reduce it by 3 in order to find your y, to generate value pairs. So, and we start with values from -3 all the way up to 3 on a number line. Imagine this is our number line going left to right from -3 all the way to +3 with 0 somewhere in the middle, which, by the way, mimics exactly the x-axis. That's our horizontal number line on the coordinate plane. So let's see what happens. So we know that every time we get an x, we have to reduce it by 3 to generate the value of y. So if we get -2, y will be -5. If we have -1, -3 more is -4, -3, -1 minus 3 is -2, 2 minus 3 is -1, 3 minus 3 is 0. Now, let's write them down as xy pairs, xy value pairs, and that's pairs, like a pair of number pairs. So -2, -5, -1, -4, 0, -3, 1, -2, 2, -1, and 3, 0. Remember that when we write down these value pairs, x is in the first position and y is in the second position. Now, which line is a graph for this rule? Which line is represented by this equation? Well, we do have 3 straight lines, A, B, C. Now we just need to understand, we just need to match. So let's find point -3, -6. We go left 3 and down 6. Here's our first point, -2, -5. Here's the second point, -1, -4. Here's the third, here's the fourth point, fifth, 6, 0, 3, and all the way up to 3, 0, right? So here is this point, 3, 0. Notice that all these points belong to line C. So all these points, including this rule, represent line C. Okay? Now, next, question number 6. We do have a straight line. Let me highlight it a little bit more. We have a straight line on the graph. By the way, notice that the lines are labeled with lowercase letters. This is line A. And look, it has multiple points that belong to line A. Point A, B, C, D, and E. Let's note their coordinates. For point A, the coordinate is -6, and it's 3. B is -3, 3. C is 0, 3. D is 3, 3. E is 6, 3. I want you to pause this video and look at the pattern. Look at the pattern among all these points. Think, what kind of rule does this pattern follow? I hope you give it a chance and thought for yourselves. So we do have the coordinates for points A, B, C, D, and E that belong to line A. What is the y coordinate for each point? Well, y is always equal to 3. Notice y is always equal to 3. Let me use a slightly different color. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Y is always equal to 3 in this pattern. Which of the points satisfy the equation y equal to 3? My friends, this equation, this rule, is for the entire line A, which means all points belong to this line and all points satisfy this equation. Next question, D. In line A, what is the value of C at 0, C? Remember, first value is for x coordinate and y is for location up and down. We know that y is always equal to 3 according to this rule. Finally, question E. In line A, y equals to 3 is the rule, is the equation for all values of x. So no matter what the value of x is, it is the line that's going to stay at y equals to 3. Notice that this line is also parallel to the x-axis, right? It runs parallel. My friends, question number 7. Give the coordinates for each point. We have points P, Q, R, S, T. And of course, the line is labeled with a lowercase b, right? This is our line B. Very different. What do we notice about line B? What is the difference between line A and line B? Well, I hope you see right away that line B is a vertical line. And this vertical line is parallel to the y-axis, okay? So let's first find the coordinates. Point P, well, we travel to -4 and up 9. Q, we travel to -4 but up only 4. R, we travel to -4 and we don't go up and down. We just stay on the x-axis. We travel to -4 and go down to -4. And for point T, the coordinate is -8, -4. I want you again to pause this video and look at the pattern among the value pairs of x and y that belong to line B. I hope you got a chance to pause the video and think for yourselves, and I hope you notice that in this vertical line, the x values, I noticed I made a mistake. The x values are the same. How strange. How strange. This is -4, -8. So, what is the x coordinate for each point? X is always constant and it's equal to -4. Which of the points satisfy this equation? X equals -4. We say all points follow the same rule. In line B, what is the value of D when y equals to 0? D equals to -4. In line B, x equals -4 for all values of y. Line B is the graph for x -4 equals -4. That is the rule. And it's a vertical straight line that is parallel to the y-axis. I hope you find